back from the land of Barovia, the village of Vallaki, and PZ85 plays The Curse of Strahd on the Podzilla 1985 network. I am your host and game master, Cody Sandusky. Happy to be back with you. Yes, do not adjust your podcast app. This is 2 consecutive episodes in 2 consecutive weeks. We are on a roll. Don't worry, something will inevitably cause that to happen, not 3 weeks in a row. That's being a little bit overzealous. But while we have you and while we have ourselves, let us introduce the cast at hand. Starting first, at least to my upper left, he is the man on the west side of the country in a brand new spiffy office, even with its own sink, because that is important for anybody who's hosting festivities in an office. It's Bjorn, the blood hunter, played by Kaz.
Gotta stay clean when there's evil around.
That's right. You gotta make sure you are purified in the waters of Lake Minnetonka, or whatever body of water still remains out in California. North of me on the screen, he is apparently A-Town Down himself, Double H, playing Rasmus Thomason.
H-Town Down.
H-Town down. That's an A. Never mind. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. Close enough. It's fine. Fresh off of a con weekend and looking all the better for it, it is Zephra, our resident Aaron Genasi. It is Lindsay Wolfcong.
As far as I know, I did not get con flu, but I do have the sniffles.
That is always the risk you run. Hunter, for what? That's a visual bit for the audio podcast. H in sign language. Because, it makes, there you go. Throw up them gang signs. H. And also the proprietor of this website, this podcast, and all things therein. He is currently played in Aiden Valmont, the legally distinct, but painfully similar to Simon Belmont character. It's Shannon Young.
Amanda Bynes was found unclothed and alone while roaming the streets in downtown Los Angeles on March 19th, according to TMZ. The Hairspray star was not wearing anything when she waved down a car and informed the driver she was coming off of a psychotic episode. Thank you, Cody.
I'm regretting not dropping the Walt Diddler name on you there in the intro now. Can we do this again? I would like to restart the podcast, please.
Vince McMahon would
do
like
one
to...
take. We hear like Calculon.
Vince McMahon said he has always owned up to his mistakes, and by own up to men, he means pay them off and then make a lot of money. So
there it is. Don't worry, kids. Don't adjust
this.
your podcast app again. Pro Wrestling Unscripted is bleeding into Tuesday.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Super show tomorrow.
Super
show, I tell you.
That's right. I cannot wait to hear that, but we'll talk about that at the end of this episode. One more time, do not worry, do not fear. Tanner is still not here. Yes, Red is not going to be in this episode tonight. He is not able to join us, and we'll see what happens to the sleepy 7-foot elf somewhere in the meantime. When last we left this motley crew, they were inside the Blue Water Inn having breakfast with Erwin and Danica, the proprietors, the owners of this establishment, catching up on the festivities of the night before and the morning of, with 2 young boys of the Mardukov clan waking up Red, or at least trying to do so, whilst he fell asleep at the table. But as breakfast was being served and conversations were being had, 2 town guards of Vallaki made their way into the establishment, followed by a hulking character with a large deformed arm, asking if all was well and if any denizens of this establishment were besmirching the spirit of this town. Before we jump in, anybody have any questions, any, concerns? Probably several, I'm sure, as we get started here, but questions game-wise.
Oh, game-wise, no.
I mean, I can also open the floor to non-game questions if you have one.
One, is there a way to escape the dungeon without using the wizard's key?
Cody, I can field this. I can field this one for you. Shannon, what kind of grown man who wears a shirt that says genius at work, spends all of his time watching children's cartoons?
I withdraw my question.
Cool. While that's happening, any other questions? Because otherwise I have answers inside of this envelope for the question of the week, or the query of the week.
Door number 3.
He has answers. I don't remember how Ed McMahon sounded, so.
I knew that's what you were
going
Yes! You are on fire, yes!
It's good shit.
The computer wears boots.
Now I just want an episode of Ed McMahon opening Star Search like that. It's good shit. It's good Star shit. Search. Tuesdays at 7 on CBS.
I'm going to point my dick at one of them, pal.
Jesus. Now we're besmirching the dead, and I feel bad about it.
Is Bob Barker still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ed McMahon is not, though.
Good for Bob Barker.
Barker's still around.
All right.
Yeah. I was about to say I was going to start feeling really bad if I had put Ed McMahon in the grave early, but he's been gone since 2009. So that I thought
Bob Barker is 99 years old.
There's horse.
My God.
As of December 13th of this past year. So if he makes it to the end of 2023, he'll be 100.
You know, another McMahon that I wish were dead.
Yeah, who's that?
Hey, look at that horse.
Hey, look at that horse. Did he blow his quad on national television and or pay-per-view?
No, because then they'd have to shoot him.
Well, he's certainly doing the Vince tongue wag. I'm sure Vince did it all the divas.
There it is. Yep, okay.
Let me holla at you.
All right. I have no further questions, no further anything really to contribute to tonight's episode, so buckle in, kids. It's going to be a fun one. All right. With that said, let's pick up where we left off. If memory serves correct, all of you, tokens notwithstanding in the bar here, I think we just represented you by the color circles because of the size of the map. Yeah, just use your mind's eye. You can figure out kind of whereabouts you are. I know red is collapsed somewhere here on the large table at the staircase. But
he's got alcohol poisoning. He died 10 years ago.
Hey, he's not appearing in this picture. It's fine.
Today.
So, the individual is going to, I'll start with that. He comes into the bar and again establishes a pretty imposing presence. Like, well, I'm not going to make anybody make a check, but this is a towering individual who, I believe the image I dropped into the chat last time, see if I can pull it up real quick to give to you again. This is not any slight character. This is someone who is an imposing presence, and he makes himself known to all of you by saying again, I hear word that some are saying all is not well. Do any in here speak that all is not well in Vallaki?
Am I still on the floor, or did I get up at some point?
I mean, this is the morning after, so I would hope you'd have pulled yourself
Oh, that's
up.
right. Now I remember.
Yeah.
You were sick as a dog last week, man.
Yeah.
This is true. Yes, this is very true.
I will stand up and say, all is well, friend, and thumbs up. Big smile.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how sarcastic are you being here?
13.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I am legitimately being probably a 3. I am trying to be convincing because I am not an idiot, and I see how strong and scary this man is. So I'm not trying to provoke anything. Well, you want to rush the Grim Reaper, you go right ahead.
Yeah,
I'm standing behind
that picture again. By the way,
I'm standing behind Aiden, going, "We can take him." I'm just whispering in his ear. I'm like, you can do this. We can do
okay. Aiden, because of that, I want you to give me a performance check, please.
But I was being good.
You were, but you said you're still trying to put on that you are being sincere. Like there's some component of that you're trying to feign. So I would like a performance check, please.
Hold on, I forgot to get into D&D Beyond. Unless you have my performance rating, and you could just tell me.
I do. Your performance rating is a +2.
+2. Okay, I'm just gonna roll through here then, so we don't have to waste time.
Hey. Yeah, that is a 20, and for what it's worth.
He does good performance.
The figure doesn't relax into his position, but he does maybe unpuff his chest slightly, based upon you saying that he relax isn't the right word, but he brings down his guard maybe about 5%. He's not quite hulked up and kind of bowing up on anybody just yet. He takes it down and says, "Good, at least one in here abides by the word of the Baron." You son of a bitch, broke me.
For what it's worth,
he didn't mean to. I saw the text come up. You son of a bitch.
For what it's worth, Rasmus was very much intending to kind of just stay out of this at least as long as necessary until if they're going to go person by person, then he'll stand up if that's the impression that I'm getting. But otherwise, I was going to have him sit back and just stay out of it. He didn't have anything to do with that, so he has no. If they're looking for a roll call, then he'll get involved. But
at least not at the start. He seems that he's coming in just generally addressing the room. Okay. And since this is early in the day, not too many patrons have made their way into the establishment, but you would see the one or two that are in the room kind of try to sink into the wall, blend in with the wallpaper,
Yeah.
Make sure they're not seen.
I'm going to split the difference. I'm not trying to get his attention, but I'm not trying to go out of my way to not be seen either. Rasmus is just going to drink his coffee and just sort of sit back and not acknowledge him.
Okay.
Kind of where I'm sitting in it, that I'm just hanging out by the bar near Danica as though I was chatting with her about stories.
Yeah, I'm probably like the boys are running around. I'm probably like, messing with them as they run by or something. They've been messing with Red. I'm like picking at them when they run by or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Just something innocuous.
All is well in that respect for you. Bjorn, you at least said you were whispering to Aiden that you think you could take him. How are you? Oh, you're still just keeping it to yourself?
Just keep it to myself. I'm just telling Aiden that he is much tougher than he thinks he is. He can hold his own if he was to step forward and do so.
Okay.
I'm going to whisper back to him, just calmly say, I am aware. Thank you.
I've got faith in you. I believe in you.
I'm very strong. I'm a strong boy.
Was it the story of the king having someone follow behind him saying, "You are mortal"?
Yeah, he is immortal.
No, I didn't say him.
Mortal.
Yeah, mortal. You're doing the opposite.
2 syllables.
Okay. So you keep whispering that Red is still out of commission at the table. This character will kind of receive word from one of the guards who, if you give any attention to the guards, understandably maybe not with the person at the back of the room, you kind of pick up an air that even they're a bit uncomfortable around this person.
Okay.
Like they seem at least obedient and adherent to his word, just based upon the beginning entrance. But even talking to him, you kind of see a little bit of concern doing so. But you'll see the one in front of him, in terms of our map layout, kind of whisper to him. And this person comes back up and kind of puffs out the chest a little more and says, I hear, and Aiden, you and Bjorn, if you're still kind of poking behind him like Shaggy and Scooby, will say, I hear you two specifically for speaking ill of Valaki's mission of all being well.
I didn't say shit.
I'm gonna I assume at this point I'm drinking coffee because he likes to drink coffee. I'm gonna kind of put the coffee down and turn around to him and tell him, I don't know how to tell you once again, all is well. The answer hasn't changed, friend. So I think you're barking up the wrong tree. All is well.
Okay.
I'm getting a little irritated with him now.
I didn't say shit, and that's making me irritated.
Okay.
I mean, I did, but he didn't say anything within earshot of him. I look at Aiden and I tell him, you should do something about this.
I'm going to turn to him and say, thank you. Yes, I appreciate that.
Just to kind of lay out the room, I will note, if memory serves correct, Irina is not downstairs currently. She's still upstairs getting some rest. Right, so she's still upstairs getting some rest. Yeah, just kind of want to remind you guys of where everything is laid out here. So Zephyr, you're still sitting by Danica. Erwin kind of comes out from around the bar and says, Isaac. For Hunter, for those of you taking notes at home, I-Z-E-K. Isaac.
Oh, it's spelled the worst way. This dude's a douche.
Oh, it's a terrible way of doing it.
Erwin comes around and says, Isaac, with all due respect, do you feel the need to conduct the business this early in the morning in my establishment? If it's chaos, if it's trouble you wish to cause, please at least take it to the streets. But I can at least speak of my own time with these people, and no one has spoken ill of the Baron, Vlakovich, or any of the proceedings happening here in Valaki. Isaac casts a suspicious eye toward Erwin. Doesn't, at least if you were to kind of look at him for a second, doesn't seem to take him all at his word, but grunts a little bit. I wish it to be known that whether or not you spoke, as I've been reported to last night, new individuals entering Valaki and making themselves known in the way that you have must have an appointment with the Baron. He wishes to see those who travel into Valaki with any kind of importance or air of intrigue about them.
I just kind of like point at Aiden. I'm like, does he look important?
I'm going to point at Bjorn and say, does he look intriguing?
And I just kind of go,
I fucking do it.
and I open up my coat and I just show my.
I'm going to point at each of individual rib and just say, like, is this intriguing? This boy hasn't had a sandwich in months. He just wants some food.
Isaac, you see that large arm kind of clench a bit toward a fist.
Cody, real quick, not to interrupt you. While he's doing that, can I observe that arm? Can I see anything special about that? I'm asking for a check of some kind. I want to cast an eye toward, because that's the only real unusual thing about him, other than he's huge, right?
Right. At least on initial inspection, yes. I mean, the picture kind of depicts as he is. He's tall. He's got an entire wolf pelt serving as like the neck wrap on him. Yeah, you can do an investigation check to kind of gauge him from a distance.
That's my worst check. Okay, I should turn the thing on. Hang on.
While he's checking that, I want to point at that arm and say, is that your good hand?
That's pretty good. 15.
Okay. 15.
I don't have a bonus, so
that's okay. 0. You notice that something, you would suspect maybe that it's blood or whatever the magic is that caused this to happen, still kind of pulses through under the skin, especially as it kind of goes toward the wrist, the forearm, and the fingertips. Like you see that red smattering that's on it in the picture. That kind of gives not quite a glow, but it is a bit luminescent on the inside.
Okay, so those are not like scales. This is not like a dragon arm. Like this is not Godric the Grafted I'm dealing with here.
No. If you were to compare it to anything, you would probably think it more of like someone appended the arm of a tiefling or a demon to the end of this forearm. Like it looks, it shows in that image those very long dragon-like, claws or nails that are there. This is something that has something evil about it, at least in origin.
And this may be too far, but inferring from what you said, am I able to tell this seems like something that was inflicted on him? Like this is not a personal choice?
Yeah.
Okay. So like potentially some kind of a punishment or something. I got you. Or a like result of combat or something like that. I got you. So he didn't go out and go, let me get me a dragon arm.
Yeah, give me a number 3 at the malady.
Right, yeah. He didn't go visit a Ripper Doc. This is not Cyberpunk. This is not a okay.
At least he didn't of his own free will, like I said. That doesn't seem like it.
Shannon's digging these references. We just became best friends all over again. Anyway. Okay, I'm not going to do anything about it for the time being. I wanted to use this opportunity to.
Yeah, absolutely.
God damn it, Hunter! I hate to break this, but like I just have to post this in the chat. Sism just posted this on my wall, and I need you to see it.
No. Oh no.
Well, Shannon, I will cry if that's not the image for tomorrow's episode.
But you got it. For you, you got it. Yeah.
And I mean, connected directly to that, how we have to open the show is just, for us, Sunday was the end of the Triple H era. WrestleMania was the end of. It was just another Sunday.
Yeah. On any given Sunday.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
That's great.
All right, that's We'll try to get back.
Thank you.
Fuck, the internet never misses. The internet never misses. For the audio podcast, it's an image of Vince McMahon from that Endeavor press conference dressed like M. Bison, and it looks fucking. It's probably the best look he could pull off in that situation. Like,
importantly, the caption is also altered to say Vince McMahon says Raw After Mania quote was such good shit.
I mean, Hunter, that should just be inferred anytime you see Vince anywhere.
It's good shit, pal.
Yeah, if Vince is not on screen, everyone should be asking, why is this good shit to Vince?
Why is the good shit
so bad?
Okay.
So I'm sorry. The guy Isaac was talking. I just wanted to use that opportunity.
Yeah. Or actually, Shannon, you said something about the arm. Yes, you gave me like a one-off mention there.
Yeah, I just kind of point at it and look at him, and not sarcastically, but I mean, you can tell it's a little antagonistic. Just says, "Is that your good arm? Is that the good hand?"
He kind of clenches that fist. And you maybe see the grip on the axe that he's carrying get a little tighter in the other hand and says, I came peacefully to invite you to the Baron's home and to make sure all is well, and this is how I'm received. Erwin, you let anybody in this establishment, don't you?
You seem kind of aggressive to me.
You were a little antagonistic when you came in, yeah. But all is forgiven because you know what, Isaac, all is well. Would you like to have a cup of coffee with us? And I say sincerely, as I point toward like a nearby stool.
Roll.
You take it that he doesn't take it sincerely. You take it that based upon your comment about the arm and this, he's a bit angered.
I'm gonna look toward, what was the barkeep's name again? I forget.
Erwin.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask Erwin to please pour. Like, whatever he normally drinks, it's on me. Then I'm going to put some coin on the counter.
Erwin kind of looks at Isaac and says, Isaac, again, I wish for peace in my establishment. I do not have your preferred beverages. The Wizard of Wines has not brought delivery, but I do have something. Isaac kind of grumbles, I don't wish for drink. I now wish for these people to follow me to the Baron's house. Without question.
Mm-mm.
I will not question as I stand up. Let's go see the Baron.
While they're doing that, is there any way for me to get oh damn it. I just had it and then I set it to the side. Erwin's wife.
Danica,
thank you. I keep thinking Irina, but that's the point. Is there any way for me to get Danica's attention to signal to her to not say anything about Irina? Like, basically, I just want her to keep Irina out of this. She's upstairs. She's asleep. We'll go. We'll be back. But, like, I don't want it mentioned that she's involved with us.
Dude is pissing me off.
Out of character.
Discord or Isaac?
Like he's talking about Tanner. Red's, he's still sitting there out of it.
He's just poking him with a stick, dude, pissing me off.
Fucking do something. Oh shit!
He's just poking Red with a stick, going, "Come on, do something."
You're pissing me off, dude.
Do something. Attack this guy.
I don't think he's well.
I think he's dead.
Yeah, I don't know if you want like a check or something, but basically, I want to try to get her attention.
I was trying to figure out how best it was to see if I can get one of y'all to just yeet Red at Isaac. Like, I'm
gonna pick Red up. I wish he was smaller so I could throw him at somebody.
He's too heavy for me to cast Gust on.
It's big.
I'm about
to see you do it though, just because you might be able to roll him off the table.
I'm gonna cast
his head rolling from one side to the other.
I'm gonna cast kick him in the ass and push him off with my foot. So let's go, you big bitch.
He's very much more than 5 pounds.
You big bitch. Rasmus or Hunter, you don't have to do a check.
Okay.
You get the feeling as you look at Danica, you two are of the same mind. Because she kind of glances upstairs and glances at you and gives a nod. That's all to be done with it.
It's a much more sophisticated version of Charlie and Mac looking at each other across in Guginos with the... like, it's a much better version of that. Yeah, cool. That's what I want. And beyond that, then I'll stand up and say, well, then let's be off.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Wait, Zephyr, you wish to join in? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll follow them. I kind of want to mess with them, but I'm going to behave.
I like the idea that Isaac didn't even know that we were involved at this point, so I'm going to step forward then and just, like, shake his hand, introduce myself, or at least put my hand out to be shaken.
Yeah, you can. It will be rebuffed.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, like
Cody,
fellow.
For the record, while they're doing all this, I'm going to take a little napkin off one of the tables and put it over Red's head and just like a bird and just leave him there sleeping while we go.
If he can't see, he won't
If he
wake
can't
up.
see, he'll just stay there asleep the whole time. And I'm going to tell...
He thinks it's nighttime.
Yeah, I'm going to tell Erwin that. Just let him rest. He's a big idiot.
Erwin's going to look at you and say, if he doesn't wake up by noon, I'm dragging him outside.
No,
Deal.
he's good. I threw a coin at him.
Bye.
You threw a
At
coin
Erwin or at Red?
I don't know anybody.
He's just throwing coins. It's like Sonic the Hedgehog guy.
You
He
and me,
rings
Alf?
went everywhere.
Stop throwing coins at
Every move's payday,
It's
goddammit.
payday.
Bjorn used payday.
I just throw a coin
It was
and I'm
super
like, let him
effective.
stay as long as he needs. How long?
No, he doesn't
You
need to
paid
stay
for
there.
your room. Fine. You know what?
Yeah, I was gonna
Give me
say
an
he doesn't
athletics
need to stay
check.
downstairs.
Give me what?
Give me an
Netflix
athletics check. You keep throwing shit.
Oh, I'll watch what happens. Athletics, here it comes.
Here it comes.
That's all right. Wait, why did it do twice?
I don't know, but I'm taking the lower of the two.
Fuck you. Okay.
Shoosh.
It's one off. I'll pull back the DM screen for a second. The number didn't make a difference.
Fair enough. I'm trying to increase the economy of this place.
He's trying to revitalize the community, Cody.
Yeah, well, you know what, buddy? I hate to tell you. This is rubles right after the collapse of the Soviet Union. Your money don't mean dick around most of these parts.
As the peacemaker, I'll tell Erwin, look, drag him out. That's fine. Just put him in the alley, if you would. Just put him in between the two buildings. Just don't leave him out front.
Just make sure you put the little napkin over his head when you do it.
If only,
It won't scare him.
if only because you don't want him driving business off from your establishment.
He smells like something that's been passed through the stomach of a sick old woman.
Just put him out back with the garbage. That's fine. He's the trash man.
See, what he'll do is he'll help pay for our meals because he'll go back there and he'll eat the garbage, because he's the trash man.
Gross.
I knew this shit was fake.
Got over that good edge. Okay, yeah. All right, if the party is willing to go and Red is knocked out, sure. At that point, all of you being so willing, Isaac is pleasantly surprised. He doesn't show much in the way of expression. As you can tell, it's a pretty demure face most of the time, if the image is to be believed. But he will grumble, compliance. That will serve you well when speaking to the Baron.
Show you
Please,
some fucking compliance.
follow me.
Oh, I wanted him to say walk this way. So
Yeah, same. I was gonna. Yeah,
Can't give you everything every time.
I'm gonna look at. They can't see this on at home, but as he turns his back, I'm gonna look at Rasmus and hold one of my hands up and give him like a little wiggly hand at him.
It's spooky.
Just spooky hand.
Yeah, I'll arch an eyebrow because as much of I'm still trying to recall if I've seen anything like this before. Like, yeah, it's spooky, but it might also be real bad news.
I don't like it at all.
He is definitely giving off Godric the Grafted fucking vibes. That's for sure.
What I thought of immediately, well, no, to be fair, what I thought at first was Tyrants. He looks like something out of Resident Evil, but afterward, it was definitely Godric.
All right, so you all...
What happens then, Cody?
No, I was going to let you go with the references for a second. You were doing well. So you all head out again as I pull up the map of Valaki. You are all in the center of town or nearby. You are past the location with the fountain and with the stocks, which Isaac will acknowledge as you walk toward the home of the Baron, and will say something along the lines of, I advise you stay amendable in this town, as I'm sure you saw upon your entry to this place. Those who... He thinks for a word. Disagree with the Baron may find themselves in a precarious position on display for all to see.
Oh, you mean the dudes in the
in.
stockades? I didn't say dudes, of course. Just flavor that.
They turned out well.
What sort of thing would constitute disagreeing with the Baron?
He gives you a curious look and nods and says, first of all, treating everything as if all is not well. All is well here in Vallaki. At least the Baron wishes it so.
I want to point at the guys in those stockades and say, but would you say all is well for them?
Like,
sacrifice of few who step out of line bears the blessing of the many here in Vallaki. Or all may remain well, if such is the case.
Legitimate question, follow-up to that. What's going to happen to these people? They're going to get out, right?
When deemed appropriate, yes. When it is deemed that they have paid the penance for their time, paid the penance for their actions in speaking ill of this place, then they shall be released free.
How long have they been there?
He thinks for a moment. In most of their cases, but a few days. Not enough to cause them permanent harm, for that is not the goal of this. The goal of this is simply to bring into alignment the message of Vallaki that all is well.
I'm going to yell at them like, you hear that, guys? Just a few more. All is well. Thumbs up.
I mean, I will note that you are, you're approaching it now. I guess I should show you guys on the map that this location is where you are heading. But since he feels the need to show you that, and since as you're acknowledging it as you go through, you have made your way down into that stocks area and into that fountain. So you hear the general murmuring or the kind of the groaning of those under the donkey heads, for they are still in the donkey heads. This being the daytime, though, you do see a few people who are a few town folk in the city center kind of looking upon them. And actually, I'd like to have all of you give me a perception check.
Is that passive perception? It probably doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, I mean, you could utilize your passive perception.
Cody, what does that mean, passive
Why
perception?
am I rolling dice?
What's the difference?
Passive perception, it's just a quick check. It's just something that it doesn't involve your dice roll. You just kind of throw it out there and say, I take this as my passive perception. I have the option to choose if I want you to roll a physical die or not, but I can take that for that.
I'll roll because I've only got a 10 in it, and I just feel like...
I
meant to roll my physical die, but I don't know why I use beyond, so I'm going to take what I got, which is a 7.
Cody, can I go back to taking the 10? Because I rolled a 2.
You did roll a 2. Things are going great. Kaz, what do you got?
I got 16. I perceive things.
You perceive.
And
Lindsay and Kaz specifically. You two, for all of you, you see even the people here in the town square, this area with the stocks and the fountain and where everything kind of happens, the town center, even if it's not geographically so. You see people passing by having conversations, even those observing the stockades. They have this fixed smile on their face. But for the two of you, Bjorn and Zephyra, you specifically kind of, as you pass through the small crowd, again, this isn't a hustling, bustling morning yet. People are starting to stir up and spin up the day's activities. You kind of see the visage flicker for a moment. As in, you kind of see that the eyes give out a little bit of a concerned look.
Yeah, there ain't nothing, whatever, what's the phrase? Everything's good?
Everything's good.
It's hot shit. It's good shit, pal. All is good shit, pal.
Well. These people, can I lean into the other two that can't perceive very well because they're unfortunately not perceptive, and just let them know there's some shit going on.
+6. Fuck you.
Yeah, and you still rolled a 7.
I'm aware.
Yeah. If you do wish to share with the other two, you can. However, either Kaz or Lindsay, if you wish to kind of nudge over and do that.
I don't know how closely our lead is watching us, so I will hold off until he is no longer in our presence.
Okay. By the way, for those of you listening at home, the image, or at least the visage of one Red has appeared. Red, you're inside of an alley. You're still asleep. You might be waking up shortly.
You have a napkin over your head.
Yeah.
That's so
You're still dead.
You're like a bird that you sleep with it.
Who the hell is carrying me? What the hell's happening?
You don't know that yet. We'll come back to that.
You got dragged out to an alley.
All right.
Yep, there you go. All right, so for the rest of you, if you kind of whisper that, and Bjorn, you seem much more willing to do so than Zephyra.
Yeah.
You don't get the feeling that Isaac notices, or either of the town guards. You don't get the feeling they've picked up on your kind of like whispers as you move out.
I'm very good at whispering.
Yeah. But, Aiden and Rasmus, take that information as you will in terms of all is not as it seems.
Okay. Real quick, for the record, when you say, and I'm assuming I'm getting the same information they got, when you say flicker, it's not like it's a physical like twitch. Like
it's not like a digital artifact or something. Yeah, it's like a physical, like you see the eye twitch a little bit.
Spell that's cast on them or something.
The smile's there, but the eyes don't match type thing.
Yeah. That's actually a perfect way to describe it.
Okay.
It's a 1,000-yard stare with a smile fixed on the top of it.
Yep. That works.
Yeah.
Noted. All right.
As you make your way through toward the Baron's house, Isaac starts speaking as you kind of see it in the distance. The Burgomaster's mansion is just near ahead. I wish it to be known that the Baron will see you whenever I can inform him of your presence. Do know the Baroness is hosting a luncheon, or at least an early day activity, with guests from the village. So I wish that you do not make any ruckus or chaos, as I've heard you might be able to do, until we can meet with the Baron.
Well, I'm going to look dumbfounded. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about right now, but you don't have to worry about us. We're as discreet.
What do we need to know about the Baron before we meet him?
The Baron has been in charge of this town for many years. He is proud of what he has brought to this city, which is peace, comfort, safety, wellness.
When did
prosperity?
you start working?
Even prosperity, if you will. What's that, Kaz?
I question him, like, when did you start working for him? When did y'all meet? How did y'all meet?
I have been, he thinks of the right word, an assistant to the Baron by way of the town guard for a number of years now.
Does or did the Baron have any sort of relationship with any of the other burgomasters, like Kolyanovich, for example?
You specifically, upon asking that question, Rasmus, you, not quite a twinkle in his eye, but something about that name caught the attention of Isaac a little bit. But he will try to keep that to himself, even though you've noticed it. He'll say, of course, the land of Barovia does not succeed, does not find itself in any livable state without the burgomasters, the barons, at least doing what they can to facilitate wellness and prosperity across the land. Although I would argue that Baron Vargas Velakovich has done the greatest of jobs in ensuring that this town is safe from the scourge and the eyes of the devil plaguing this fair place.
Sorry, real quick, out of character. The Baron and the Velaki Burgomaster, same guy, right?
Yes.
He's known as the Baron, but he is the Burgomaster. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He is the Burgomaster. His name is classified as Baron Vargas Velakovich, which,
gotcha.
Spoiler alert, you'll also be hearing from him shortly.
Got it. Okay. Excuse me.
At this point, you all have approached the the burgomaster's mansion. And Isaac takes the lead at this point. Yeah, he kind of disperses the village guard and kind of points them to the sides. He's placed his axe at his side, like at the hilt now. And the guards will take their posts on either side of the mansion door. And he, gives the proper knock. An attendant of the home comes to the door. There's a little bit of a quiet conversation between the two of them. And you are let in. It looks like a standard human female, a maid or whatever it is. He kind of stands at the door and lets you all in as Isaac steps in. If you were to walk in, you don't see anything untoward about her other than kind of the same thing you've picked up from passing by so far. The smile is there, 1,000-yard stare is there, but she does welcome you. Welcome to the home of the burgomaster, Baron Vargas Valakovich. He and the Baroness welcome you, and the Baron will see you shortly. And she kind of makes her way upstairs, and I can drop the map in later. Just kind of presume you're on the ground floor of a place right now. Yeah, it's, I'll say it's like a 2-level building. Of the buildings you've seen here, it's a little more ornate. Again, as most things in Vallaki and most things in Barovia, it's not that this is in the most splendid condition. In fact, as you walk in, you see there's like plastered stone outside of the house, and you can see that there's some chunks of plaster that have fallen away. Now, inside the house, there's this arched opening above those double doors that you just walked into. And once you enter inside, there are drapes on all of the windows. Some of them are opened up currently, but you kind of are brought in. And even as you do that, you kind of hear another knock at the door. Another attendant lets people in. They're carrying in bundles of sticks, and there's kind of commotion. There's a lot of activity happening at the burgomaster's house right now.
So we're effectively in like a sitting room, like a waiting room, right?
Yeah, like the vestibule or what you would have for like a church. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
okay. Yeah. All right. I mean, to what degree I can without making a mess. I want to look around. Like we got paintings here. We got something to examine, some kind of heirlooms maybe. I want to find out if I can find out anything about this guy before he actually shows up.
Sure. I would say at the start, as you're like in this den area, like this vestibule area, you see on the floor there are these bundles of sticks and twigs that you have seen kind of people scurrying in and out. As you look around, there are framed portraits across the wall. You also kind of see to your right, as you have entered the building, there is a staircase for going upstairs. It's kind of, again, this vestibule. There's a little room to your right, but then there's also the path that leads into the home proper with a staircase that goes where you presume the maid went to go up that way. The portraits that you see are kind of similar in terms of looks. You see with some placards at the bottom of a few of them, Baron Valakovich, the Valakovich family. You see the Baron, a woman next to him, and also a young boy in a couple of them.
Okay.
And you also see kind of throughout generational portraits, like of different ancestors of the family. But again, a number of them look pretty similar.
When you say a number of them look pretty similar, what do you mean? Like how similar and which members?
Primarily the males in all these images, they look... I'm trying to think how best to phrase it without just kind of coming out and saying, you would suspect there is some limited branching of the family tree.
So we're in Arkansas, okay. Do they look eerily similar, or do they look like the same person? I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I would say eerily similar.
Okay.
Yeah, not so much that they are identical, but no member of this collection of family members could deny that they are members of the Valakovich family. Let's put it that way.
But Okay, I just want to make sure. I got an alarm in my head of thinking like, oh, he's a vampire. This is just the same guy through generations of people.
Yeah, it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
Time travel. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't quite pick up on that in this situation. They look different enough for you to believe that they are not all the same person, but similar enough to where you would probably presume that the burgomaster position or the baron leadership in this village has maintained in the same family for many generations.
I'm going to point this out to Rasmus and Bjorn, because I assume Zephyra is like drawing butterflies or something in her book. So
I'm posted up by one of those windows that the curtains are actually open.
I'm going to point out to them that I don't think this town has seen a different leader in quite some time.
No, he's a family man too. That's worth noting.
So I pointed Bjorn specifically and whispered to him, so no comments about eating his kids or murdering his son, nothing like that.
Or doing anything to his children.
Leave the jacket closed.
Not yet. Give me time.
I want to know what that means.
I also don't want to know what that means.
That's one of us. I personally would like to know what it means. As you have these conversations, you do hear a little bit down the hall some conversations about you hear faintly words of this festival, the blazing sun. This is going to be splendid for the citizens of Vallaki. This will surely lift the spirits of you all. And I hope that you understand the greatness that is the Blazing Sun Festival. I understand we had the Festival of the Wolves, but this, so much more so. It's a one-sided conversation that you pick up, but you do hear kind of activity and work being done down the hallway.
Can I listen in on this conversation a little bit? Because I would like to hear more about this Blazing Sun. If he's still saying it.
Yeah, I will note that it's a she, but yes, there is. No, you're fine. I mean, that's a piece of information I didn't give you. Yes, is you kind of, if you wish to make your way down the hallway to kind of eavesdrop a little bit.
I do. In fact, since you said it's a she, I want to turn on the charm, the Aiden Valmont charm, and give her a smile. I assume she's of comely nature, and ask
a virtue true,
and ask inquire about this festival and tell her we're new to town and that I'm single.
I'm just behind him, just looking at her going,
I hope this goes as well as the last time you tried this.
I hope it goes better.
I just love that you're dropping the...
You can say that to me, because at this point I've come over to you and just given you the elbow and then get a load of this guy. Look, like... Here we go.
Actually, I want to take back what I was doing. I want to nudge it along. I absolutely want to give him confidence and say, you got this.
I got this.
You got this.
I'm just nodding.
Just for the hell of it, I want to cast Gus so that his hair starts blowing back.
Yes. Oh my God. Calmly in the wind.
Okay.
I even offered my hat if it was to be dapper.
As you make your way toward the sound, you come to, it's a long hallway, this foyer. There are rooms to the left and right, and the room to the left is where you hear the activity happening. As you were to enter the doorway, you hear this conversation continuing on about the Festival of the Blazing Sun. Oh, but of course, this festival, it's going to be so splendid. We are just but a few days away. This is... It should lift the spirits of the people of Vallaki so greatly. This is going to, of course, the sun being burned in the sky, the blazing icon for which we can all appear and all witness its greatness. And as you come in the room, you kind of catch this person midstream. I dropped an image of her in the chat. And upon you entering the room, Aiden, do you interrupt her midstream, or do you kind of wait for a moment for her to pause before you do so?
I'll wait for her to finish. I don't want to interrupt her, but as she turns around and I see her and I see that she's not as comely as I assumed she had been originally. She's not. I mean, she's like a 6. She's like a 6. I thought at least a 9. I'm gonna hit her with the Zap Brand. Was it Zap Brannigan that she goes, hello, beautiful. No, it's Troy McClure.
Yeah.
When he sees Selma, I'm gonna hit him with the Troy McClure. Hello, beautiful.
My name's Aiden Valmont. You may have seen me in such films as Blasylvania 4.
It's my favorite.
That's right. All right. You enter the room and you do that.
Hair's
and
blowing.
The facial expression that you see in the image rendered is exactly what you receive. She is a little bit taken aback and confused about someone openly hitting on her in her own home.
Oh, no.
As she takes leave of her seat, she stands up and says, "Ladies, please excuse me." And she kind of steps toward the opening of the door and says, "My apologies for my." She kind of like dusts herself off and kind of sets herself a little bit more proper. "My apologies. We are in preparations for the costumes for this festival. May I ask who you might be in your business at the home of the Burgomaster?"
I am gonna
Bart Simpson. Who the hell are you?
No. This is I'm full on putting the charm on. I'm talking about I'm doing the full like bend over bow with the arms raised back and introducing myself as Aiden Valmont and my friends, and it's
holding his cape.
It's an honor to be because I am well dressed. I mean, yeah, it's a little armor, but it's a nice coat. He looks pretty good. And thank her for her hospitality.
Zephyr, how long do I wait before I step in?
No, let it go. Let it ride.
Probably soon.
Let it ride. He's doing good. I'm being very
I'll tell you
professional.
what, I'll leave this one up to you. You can tell me. I'll step in when I need to.
He's very Gentile-like.
Yeah.
Being genteel in the palace, I would like to see you give me. I'll change it for your benefit slightly. I would like to have a persuasion check from you.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna go great.
It's Hunter. Can you give me a? It's not.
Because I would argue you're trying to
give you
influence
what?
her.
Can you give me a? It's not for Cass. He said it's gonna go great.
It's not.
Here we go, everybody.
Yeah, I would argue you're acting in good faith.
Well, that's an 8.
Cody genteel in the palace, by the way.
You should go back to rolling in Roll20. You do better.
Yeah, you really should.
I think I can re-roll persuasion. Can I? I don't know. Is that a thing I can do?
I don't know.
No.
What? No.
You're thinking of Star Wars.
Was that Star Wars? I could do that.
Yeah.
You were rogue there.
Yeah, you had a character trait for that.
I'd like to use a.
No.
I'd like to use a. Can I use a short rest?
Yes, I would like you to discuss
this failed, and I need to go lean against the wall for about an hour.
Ma'am, if you would please point me to your nearest restroom, I need to take leave of myself for a moment. Thank you. Powder my nose, if you will.
The door is closed. You just hear him inside going, "So stupid! You're so stupid!"
You just hear the sound of a window opening and just, and then a car starting and driving off.
Inexplicably, there's a car there too. I look over Zephyr, go, "I don't think he's coming back."
Lindsay, for the record, I only rolled a 10 on Roll20, so it ain't going much better there.
+2.
Can I get advantage because of my hair?
No.
You already did.
The hair moving actually makes this all the more concerning to her.
Oh,
because she understands there's no breeze blowing through. Yeah, this is not a universe that has central AC, so this is not as it should be.
He's got the toupee of billowing.
How long does it last for? Does it last for like the rest? Does it just happen?
I hope it goes the whole day.
Yeah, Lindsay, how long does Gust last in this situation?
That's a good question.
If it does run out, I am happy to continue blowing on it for him.
It just says duration instantaneous. You create a harmless sensory effect using air, such as causing leaves to rustle, wind to slam shutters shut, or your clothing to ripple in the breeze.
Yeah, I'd say around.
Okay.
Like that.
At this point, I'm just blowing at him behind him.
I'm gonna just reach behind me and just knock at him. Like, go away. I got this.
I know you do, but I'm
helping. Still
helping.
very handsome. Not as handsome as Rasmus, but
Bjorn, as you come into view, your visage actually gives her pause. No, okay.
Oh no,
okay.
No,
Yeah, open that jacket. You trying to pop them bony pecs there, bro?
And I look over at Aiden. I'm like, and I just wink at him. I'm like, I got this.
So if I wanted to go full comedy on this, I would love to if Rasmus came over and just popped his shirt off a little, maybe I'll pop mine off, goddammit. And then the three of us just stand there and I'm like, all right, which one of us do you want to take to the back and bang you?
Should have popped that shirt off.
Pop that shirt
Before he
off.
started running, you should have popped that shirt off.
Hey, I want you to give me she's not reacting to the pageantry check, please.
Stomp, clap, stomp, clap.
I can't reach over and just slap him in the chest, WWE style.
I do it back, but I'm afraid of caving yours in. Little bones.
I'm gonna step in.
I mean, at this point, it may be too late, but sure, by all means, why don't you add your
I'm just gonna give Zephyr a, like, you should have told me to go sooner. I'm gonna step in and say, please, I apologize for my erstwhile compatriots here. They clearly have been in the stash of Red Dragon Crush much too early this morning, madam. And I'll introduce myself and make mention that the Isaac compelled us to visit here. We're just awaiting an audience with the Baron.
For the record, I just want to point out how much I love the fact that it's completely accidental. It's just been the roll of the die. But my character is incredibly handsome and thinks he's charming and fails at every attempt to be charming.
It's Zap Brannigan.
Yes.
He's got the look, he's got the appearance, but it's just...
But he's an incredible fighter. Every time we get in a fight, he is like a hero, but boy, does he suck.
At this point, I'm kind of feeling like the squid dude that's with him, where I'm just trying my best to blow his hair around.
What does that have to do with the squid dude? What are you talking about?
He's saying he's Kif.
Okay. He's not a squid.
Except Kif doesn't constantly lead him into bad decisions.
And he's not a squid. He's got squid dude.
Oh man, the squid dude.
The squid dude.
I understood who you meant, Cass.
Oh my god.
Thank you. Except I've got a mustache, so I'm his opposite.
Oh, you're Vince McMahon Croker. Vince Croker.
You're thick. You're not Kif. You're
well. Hang on. I'm gonna give myself that one. I'm gonna be Vince Croker.
Vince Croker.
There we go. That works. Anyway. Cody, do I need to make a check or anything? That's what
no. As things have been going, you don't feel the situation is salvageable. I'm sure as you kind of walk in on this.
Yeah, this is not me trying to make things like
better,
marginally better. This is just damage control at this point.
Well, I mean, I hate to tell you that, but because you're damage control, you're going to continue losing at every opportunity you step in the ring, important match or otherwise.
Yeah,
that's topical. Save it for
the
tomorrow.
Right there. Looks like a right turn on topical.
The Baroness, as you believe her to be because of her dress compared to everyone else that you've seen here, it is, again, a little bit more ornate, a bit more velvet, it still looks dusty, if you will. It looks like it's not as kempt as you would expect a traditional, like, high court place to be. But in comparison to the rest of Vallaki, she looks much more presentable and put together. She, being flabbergasted by the other two, will look at you and say, compelled by Isaac, you say, to see the Baron. Please, excuse me. I will check to see if Mistress has alerted Baron to your presence. Please. And she takes her leave beside all of you. Now that the room is vacant, or at least she's not standing in the doorway, the three of you that are there, you look into this room, and you see a collection of what are very plainly peasants, or like lower class citizens of Vallaki, that are sitting with the Baroness. You notice in front of them, as well as could be expected in this place, some nice afternoon tea china. It is morning, but the best comparison I can make is afternoon tea. Cups, saucers. There are small servings or smatterings of cake on some dishes around as well. And you see these women the same way. The smile is painted on. The eyes aren't really relaxed. But these are specifically they're stitching what looks to be like small costumes for maybe kids. and you see a couple of them are putting together something with these twigs. It looks kind of like a wicker construct. No, it hasn't fully taken shape yet, but it is made of wicker, like thin rods.
Shannon, that's what I like. People putting together a wicker construct, faking happiness. The bees are coming out any second.
Bees!
Or the dogs.
Bees!
Or the dogs with the bees in their mouth.
They bark. Bees when they bark at you. Okay. I don't know what to do with that, so I'm just gonna give them a, ma'am. And
Milady and leave.
Yeah, that's awkward.
They vaguely acknowledge your presence. They kind of look and nod, and they continue their work.
I'm gonna get Zephyr's attention and get her over here.
Yep.
All right, I'll join them, even though I was gonna stay out in the hallway, but that's fine.
No, we need you here.
Oh, yes, because a 6-foot-tall blue woman entering the room is going to make things better.
Look, it might provoke a reaction. At this point, that's all we're really looking for.
I want to whisper to Zephyr before she comes in. I need help. My hair turned off.
Give me another little flick.
There it is. That's the stuff.
I also love that you say you give it a little flick as if Gust isn't a cantrip you can cast all day, every day. You just don't want to bother with it this time. There you go. A slight flint. As you, Zephyr, kind of enter the doorway, Rasmus, you don't really notice any change in the way they receive her. You maybe see a little more of a flicker in the eye, but the smile does not fade. They simply...
Okay.
You get a couple smatterings of all is well, welcome, and then right back to work.
Man, look, out of character, there's a part of me that wants to just grab one of them and be like, blink twice if you need help. But there's also a part of me that thinks that any of the I guess I could do some of this in character quietly, like away from them to the rest of the group. But just like, there's part of me too that doesn't trust any of them. And so my concern is that if we say anything and they do have any level of loyalty to these people, they're going to turn it back on us.
And that's why we're better to just
they're all
not.
Terrible people and nothing as well.
Well, I think they need help, but I also don't think the way to help them is to try to wring any information out of them. I think we're going to have to get it from the source.
I agree.
And about that time, you kind of have that conversation. The Baroness and the maid that you saw that let you into the building come down the stairs and say, the Baron is ready to receive you now.
Mm.
And you follow them up the steps. You go to an upper floor that, again, looks about as well as you would expect this town to be. Not that it's, ornate, but with a nice layer of wear and tear on everything. But this is, at least thus far, much like Blue Water Inn, at least something that looks akin to a upstanding place.
Everything is vintage.
Yes, very much so.
Modern.
Yeah. Yeah, and you all are led into the way this floor lays out. Again, I'll have all the pictures for you as we go along, but this looks more like a combination living quarters or living area and like where the Baron would be most often. You were taken into a hallway with 2 doors on your right, but a large room with a double door on your left. And as the door is opened by the maid, you see a gentleman sitting at his desk with laying on either side of this large desk 2 mastiffs.
Oh,
Puppies.
They're laying down, but they look upon you. They acknowledge your presence at the very least. They don't do anything yet, but they do acknowledge that you are there. Sitting behind this desk is the individual I have now dropped into the chat. Gauntlets not on. I will say that from that image, but everything else is as it appears. Sitting behind this desk, and he stands to greet you. While you walk in, you see floor-to-ceiling shelves throughout this entire room. It's windowless, but there is an astonishing number of books. You take this to be a library or study, kind of all around, and it is a library in the truest sense. Every space available on these shelves is completely filled. There is a brass lamp on top of that desk. As he stands, you look, the chair looks to be well padded, and there is a roaring bear actually stitched into the back cushion. He stands up, leaves the book that he was reading at the desk. He's a fairly, not sizable in the way of Isaac's level, but you see he's a burly-chested individual. You would also notice that underneath that wolf pelt and kind of the cloaking that he has a breastplate on. His rapier is still in the hilt on his hip. And you see the beard is well oiled. This is someone who keeps himself fairly well.
So to break the ice a bit, I step forward in front of the group to ask him a question. I look at him and I ask him, I was like, how do you have exactly the amount of books necessary to fill all the spaces? Do you keep extra books in a different room?
It's a good question.
Is there like an overflow section, or you have?
It's the least concerning question he could have asked, honestly.
All the options is true. He goes to open his mouth for a moment, as in to introduce himself and kind of acknowledge your presence. You say this question, and he stands there a little bit agog for just a brief moment. I must say that is not the introduction I typically receive from people who make their way into my library, but you are visitors to this town, so I suppose I should begin with the pleasantries as such. I am Baron Vargas Valakovich, Burgomaster of Valaki, owner of, as you have rightly noticed, an ornate library, the largest collection of books and tomes in this part of Barovia. And seeing as you have been brought here by Isaac, I take it you have either questions or concerns about what goes on here in Valaki.
Well, I'll introduce myself and go through the rigmarole there, and then tell him Isaac was maybe more compelling than you're giving him credit for. We weren't so much curious as we were summoned, for lack of a better term. He made it seem as though you required all visitors to Valaki to make your acquaintance. Not that we didn't want to or wouldn't have, but it was certainly a more compelling argument than maybe it's been made to sound at this point.
He gives a curt smile, kind of like a half smile, and says, Isaac knows my thoughts well. If someone appears or has the scent of disdain toward the ways of Valaki upon them, I desire to meet with them, to see what has entered Valaki, and whether they have allegiance with the devil or allegiance with anything untoward upon them. And you can see he gives kind of a surveying look at the four of you. Especially Bjorn, just purely based upon your appearances, very, skeletal. He certainly takes an eye to you initially.
I'm going to point at Bjorn and say, despite his appearances, I do want to point out the fact that he is well, as are all things.
Quite well.
You say that all is well, and Vargas kind of, his eyes narrow slightly. Sir, do you dare wish to mock the way I run Valaki and the spirit of the people here?
I'm going to look around a little bit and say, and just, Why is it every time I say all is well, everyone assumes I'm being sarcastic? Are things so unwell here that by merely saying things are well, you assume I'm mocking it?
He immediately snaps upon you saying that. Do not speak of unwell here. All is well here, and I would take no lip from anybody who says differently.
I'm almost Aiden, I'm like, you can't take this.
I'm almost pulling my hair out at this point. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying all is well. I've been saying that since I got here. And
gentlemen,
please. I mean, what's going on in your head, man? You keep trying this. Like, is it them? Is it you? I think you should test them.
Gentlemen, please. We've only just arrived in the past 24 hours. We have no reason to believe things are unwell.
Everything's so well. Look how well I am. And I smile.
Please stop talking. Please stop talking.
I'm still wondering about these bugs.
I will stop talking.
That was Rasmus, for the record.
I know.
Everything is well. Please stop talking. And the hand keeps switching places.
Rasmus is full on Chandler Bing in this moment. Please don't do that.
Just in the middle.
The frustration of Aiden Valmont as he is literally trying to...
That's the name of this episode, by the way.
The frustration of Aiden Valmont. Everything is well, and he keeps trying to confirm it, but they call him out every second.
Vargas takes a deep breath upon your acknowledgement that you've only been here 24 hours and you do not appear that anything is unwell.
I think it's possible that we got off on the wrong foot. It happens, right? We're coming from the outside where I'm certain things are unwell, obviously. That's why you have an inside and an outside. So, yeah, we're getting acclimated. We're getting accustomed. It takes a little time. We're clearly not from around here, basically, I would say, and kind of point to the symbol on my shield.
Yes, that is not the Morning Lord's visage I see upon your armor, young man.
Not that I don't respect the Morning Lord, I just don't know enough about him. I'm open to creeds of all cultures. In fact, I look forward to learning more about this Morning Lord. I would hope that in turn... perhaps your sacrosancts are interested in learning more about Ilmater. We might find we have more in common than you may have anticipated.
He steps back behind the desk for a moment and says, funny you mention that, because due to the unfortunate disappearance of the leader of St. Andrew's Church, the father, Petrovich, I have recently undertaken the ministering of this village. So, perhaps, if time serves available, you and I may speak about the Morning Lord, as I wish to continue to compel the citizens of this village that he watches over us and protects us from the devil. And he starts to kind of get a little gravelly or a little bit more impassioned. The devil and the evils that he wishes to bring about in Vallaki and elsewhere in the wretched lands outside of these walls. You kind of get a little bit of fear, but also a little bit of like that preacher-ness picks up for a second. Almost,
he's got that fire and brimstone. And I would, because at this point I'm not trying to persuade him. I mean, I'm not telling anything that isn't true. I'd say we know a little something about what's going on outside the walls of your city here. It's a long journey here from Barovia.
Indeed, it is. The village of Barovia. Have you experienced with the burgomaster there, Kolyanovich?
We made his acquaintance. At this point, I'm actively hiding Irina's existence, basically. Mm-hmm. We made his acquaintance. The new burgomaster, I've been made to understand.
Yes,
but not much more.
Ah, yes, the new burgomaster. I have been told that, unfortunately, the elder statesman burgomaster has passed. Alas, these things do happen as they have here. You see, my father, too, was burgomaster of this village, and I, Vargas, the one to take over after his passing.
Seems a solitary sort of life.
Perhaps, but such is the burden one bears when trying to protect his citizens, his people, his family, from the evil that falls upon this place. Fear has no home here. Nothing other than wellness has any home here. And I wish to present that. I wish to embody that for my people. It is a burdensome existence, but one that must be born to block out the evil outside.
If he would permit us a question, I know there was some curiosity about this upcoming festival. There's a festival of some kind.
Yes, the most recent upcoming festival. You kind of see a little bit of spirit hit upon him. The Festival of the Blazing Sun. You see, festivals do a wonderful thing to enlighten the spirits of those here in this village. No greater way to celebrate the rise of a new week in safety from the devil than a festivity, an excitement, the participation of the village, young and old, long-standing citizens and new visitors, to arise and joyously proclaim, in this case, the Festival of the Blazing Sun. As we celebrate that, the image, the visage of the Morning Lord, wrought in all its glory in the town square for all to see. And as you may have astutely noticed, the sun, not always a visitor to these parts, we do our best to allow its light in this crude way, perhaps, to shine upon us and ensure that our hearts are lit and lifted from the darkness and evil that surrounds this land.
All is well.
For the first time, you actually get a little bit of a feeling that he believes you, or anybody believes you, because he slams his hand on the book on his desk and says, "By the Morning Lord, all will be well."
Yep. Just say it again.
And that's where we're going to cut it off.
Oh, dude, I'm having a good time. That was fun.
You feel you're still in the weeds with the Baron, and we will pick up in that specific location. This conversation when we come back.
In the weeds with David Pumpkins.
That's right.
Vince isn't in the weeds.
I feel like this is whole just a little captive cult, but
it is, but it's a fun captive cult, and I think there's a lot of Maiden's Fair that I could.
Fun's a strong word, I'm sure.
I don't remember how many of you have watched The Office off the top of my head, but you know what Creed says about cults. I mean, he's been involved in many as both a leader and a follower. You have more fun as a follower, but you make more money as a leader. So, I mean,
yep. Oh boy, I have I can't follow up a Creed quote like that. So that's good stuff, pal. That is thank you for joining us for another episode of PZ85 Plays the Curse of Strahd. When next we return, hopefully next week, if all does remain well in our place of being in this realm, we will return to our party speaking to Baron Vlakovic and perhaps gaining more insight on this place, Vallaki, the festivals, everything therein. But I'll let the party dictate that as they do. And we'll also maybe find the fate of Red. I feel like I'm doing the outro for Dukes of Hazzard. What happened to old Red sitting outside of that bar over there on the other side of town with a towel on his head?
Well, Red's in more trouble than a June bug and molasses.
I'd like to think that the episode actually, like if it were a TV show, it would end with him slamming his hand down and saying, "All is well," and everyone throws up a cheer, and then it fades to the outside of the alley where Red wakes up, pulls the napkin off his head, and goes, "What the hell?" And then the episode just ends.
No, that's your post-credit scene for sure. If this is a streaming show, that happens after the main set of credits.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
So now all that's left is the foreign language actors and actresses.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. But that is all for this episode of PZ85 Plays the Curse of Strahd. But this is not the only piece of content, and probably not the only one filled with all will be well and or evil intent for the rest of the week. Speaking of, tomorrow on Wrestling Unscripted, you guys tell me about what's happening there in the rest of the week.
Boy, it's
can we talk about the WrestleMania? I've been dying to talk about the WrestleMania.
Hunter walked over there. He knocked on the door. And he said,
"Champions! There is no single goddamn champion other than Roman."
Cody, I'm going to stop you right there. Not only are all those people still champions, but not a single one of them lost their title on night 2. It's all they're talking about on Reddit. It's all they're talking about.
He's right. That's all they're talking about on Reddit is the fact that...
it's all we're
talking about tomorrow. We're going to give a brief WrestleMania recap, and we are definitely going to talk about the return of Vince McMahon in less than a year.
Epic rise. The epic rise Again, in the course of approximately 48 hours, it all went from as good as it was ever going to get to an absolute shit show.
My favorite part, just as a quick preview, is the fact that according to all reports, Triple H and Nick Khan held a special meeting where they told everybody nothing's changing. It's that scene from The Simpsons where Skinner gets on the school sound system and says, "All is well. I am in complete control. My power is unquestioned." And then not less than 30 minutes later, Triple H goes out. He cuts a promo saying the exact same thing. And then when they cut to the back, Vince is in Gorilla where Triple H usually is, and he is now running the show. It is a horrible, horrible situation we're in, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow, along with Hunter. I've already got the thing I hate most in wrestling this week, and it's not Vince McMahon, surprisingly. It's something else.
That's fair. I was going to say, I mean, it's absolutely the thing I hate the most, but I would understand why you want to look for something else.
Yeah.
So I think we should.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to note, I feel very of two minds about this. I'm going to throw it out there. I believe we've talked about it privately, but not in the open. There is a book that just came out from Abraham Reisman called Ringmaster, Vince McMahon and the Unmaking of America. I have a friend I used to work with who had a little bit of work to do in this book, like collecting sources and research and whatnot. And I've been very excited to read it because it marries both the political side of our current world and also Vince McMahon's existence as a creature and an entity within it. But I feel really bad because this book literally just came out on March 28th, and it's already going to have a new paperback edition with this shit. Because the opening of the book, like I've read a little bit of the prologue, and it talks about the time, the pandemic starting, DeSantis allowing WWE to perform inside of that without any issues. And talks about Vince McMahon's life chronologically alongside other things. And it's already out of date because this fucker showed up again.
Yeah, he came back.
That we reward people like that. I feel like I'm living in Barovia.
Vince McMahon is the Burgle Master.
Fucking goddamn wrestling hamburger.
I thought Vince was Strahd, but sure, that works too.
He's a hamburger in spandex.
He looks like someone. He looks like someone just put a bunch of hamburger in a mask and put it on a body. So yeah, he's a big fat fucking face fat fuck.
And drew a mustache on it.
And drew a shitty mustache.
I say we handle tomorrow chronologically. That feels right. Like we night 1, night 2, and then Raw. And I think you'll see like just the jump up and then the steady decline. I think we just do it by the hour.
My favorite
Saudi Arabia buying it.
No. Endeavor already bought it. That's over. They're combined with UFC.
Oh,
yep. I kid you not. We'll talk about that tomorrow too.
Dana is
Dana is below. Vince
Dana
McMahon
has no
now.
control in it.
Yeah.
No.
They're going to be left as their own separate.
We'll talk about that tomorrow. We'll talk about it.
There's a lot to do there. What else do we have this week, gang?
Well, I want to point out my favorite thing I've seen about this, by the way, is that someone said night 1 of WrestleMania was that feeling you have when you get back with your ex-girlfriend that you loved and missed so much, and night 2 is when you remember why you broke up in the first place. Thursday, it's an all new After Dark. I have a very sweet message that I received from Zane Laney today. I'm going to read it on the air. Zane, of course, one of our best fans and a good friend of ours. He sent me a message.
I thought you had an idea for a top 10.
No, he listened to last week's show and he wanted to share his favorite episodes with us. So I think that'll be awesome. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah. We'll talk about that on Thursday.
Oh, we had a top 5 we were going to do last week and then we didn't. So I'm assuming we're doing that, right?
Yeah. What is it, Lindsay?
Tell them what that is again, Lindsay.
We are doing our top 5 peppy songs that actually have dark subject matter.
Hell yeah.
Most of the things I listen to are dark. And then Friday, it's horse time! Probably.
Maybe.
Allegedly.
I'm going to be in St. Louis on Friday. So, surely I'll be back by that time.
Okay, but I was like, Kaz, that means Friday, me and you. It's horse time. It's horse cousin. It's
only
horse
2 horses.
I should be back by that night.
A pair of fillies going out on the night.
Well, no.
Ain't that how horses work?
No.
I'm going to be there. Also, Kaz, find me a cold open, and I'll get it set up in the next couple days.
Diz?
We did that one, dog.
Don't say that, Diz. All right, Cody, get us out of here.
That's right. We'll do it all again next Tuesday. Barovia permitting. For Kaz, for Hunter, for Shannon, for Lindsay, for Tanner, who appeared later in this picture. For myself, I am your Game Master, Cody Sadowski. Thank you for joining us. Come back next week for more fun and excitement inside the Baron's ornate and somehow filled to the brim library on PZ85 Plays the Curse of Strahd.